I'm Igor Lukes. I'm a professor of international relations and history at Boston University. I'm an exile. I grew up in the Czech Republic. I was educated in many ways. I was educated in the Czech Republic. And I came here in my late 20s in 1978 as a sort of a straightforward political refugee. I saw my country occupied by the Red Army, by the Soviet Union. It was a communist country. I powerfully disliked being told what to do, what to read, what not to read, what to think, what not to think, and so on. And so ever since I was really a kid, I was engaged in plotting how to escape. And it took me a long time to escape, but I finally succeeded. It took a lot of sort of political conviction and intellectual discipline to sort of rip myself from an environment which I found politically abominable, and yet it was sort of strangely comfortable. It was a cage, it was a prison, but it was a velvet prison. And whoever was prepared to accept the lie of the regime had a virtually guaranteed comfortable life. And so I knew that in escaping, I was taking enormous risks that I will end up sleeping under the bridges of New York City. And I was perfectly prepared for that sort of thing because I took it to be the price that one had to pay for the morally correct decision not to live in a totalitarian system.
I'm Marianne, and Igor Lukes is my dad. The decision that he had to make to leave the Czech Republic and come to America, that was a huge decision that he had to make. He had to pack up. He couldn't tell anyone he was leaving, even his parents. They had no idea he was going. And when he left, he had no idea if he was going to see them again.
Well, I think it influenced me very powerfully. It wasn't just the Soviet invasion, but there were many other factors, like my grandmother was arrested as an American spy when I was tiny. And when she was then released, I spent a lot of time with her, and she probably thought that I was too little and too dumb to understand really what she was saying. And so she told me quite a bit about what she had experienced in the prison and during her arrest and interrogation and so on. I really understood everything she was saying, and I remembered it for the rest of my life.
So over the summer, my entire family goes to the Czech Republic. We go there for the entire summer, and we stay at the house that my dad grew up in. It's in this little village, about 8,000 people, where everyone rides their bikes everywhere, everyone knows each other. It's very different from here.
Simply being an exile is a very complicated state of affairs because you're never really at home in either of those places. When I'm in America, I discover that I'm very Czech. And the moment I sit on an airplane to fly to Europe, I instantly discover how American I am. And the moment I land in the Czech Republic, I become like a caricature of an American. I become kind of 115% American. And I disapprove of this and I dislike that. And I keep thinking, we in America do it differently and everything's better in America. And when I sit on the plane in Prague in preparation for my return flight, I already start plotting my return flight. So it is, as you can see, a kind of a desperate circle. I wouldn't say it defined me. I would like to have the maybe illusion that I'm somewhat more complex and that I have ideas that are unrelated to that. I hope I do. But it to a very great extent really channeled me, shaped me into who I am.